Hey,
What's going on, guys? How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I can. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How you guys doing? Good?
Good man.
All good, man.
You saw the game.
Yeah.
We're saying it was probably as comfortable it's going to get in the Champions League. To be honest with you, okay, it was only 2-0, but one of the guys on the
Yeah.
panel
I think,
described it as a 2-0 thrashing. But what did you think?
well, I thought that we controlled the game the first half definitely better than we have in a lot of the Premier League game matches that we've watched in the last few weeks. And I think that we controlled the game, and then in the 23rd to 25th minute when we first scored that goal, I think you could see in like minutes like just before that, we really turned it up a notch. And you could almost see, I think someone, a previous caller had mentioned shades of our form from last year, just for moments, and then once we had scored that goal, it was almost like we kind of just went back to controlling the game. And I think that kind of brings me to my next point, which I know Turkish on Forever Arsenal last week, James and Jordan were talking about, how they were thinking that this was all kind of intentional, the way that we've been playing in terms of, maybe not as out of the gates from the get-go at the start of games, and kind of controlling the game, trying to play more, a little bit more conservatively in the beginning. And then maybe as the year or season progresses, we become more aggressive. And I think that kind of goes towards and is with what Arteta was saying at the beginning of the year when he was talking about unpredictability. He talked about at the beginning of the season being more unpredictable. I almost feel like this might all be intentional in terms of how they're playing and turning it up at certain points during the game. And not necessarily showing all their cards at the beginning of the season or even at the beginning of the tournament of the Champions League.
Yeah,
It's an interesting take.
He makes a good
Turkish,
point. I mean, he makes a good point. Listen, we won't know until the season plays out how this is, shapes up, or how we can really analyze our start to the season, whether it is a bit of a handbrake off because we want to go full rev the second half of the season. Is it, lessons learned off mistakes made last season? We'll find this out as the season goes. I have been critical about fluidity and chemistry and whatnot. But at the same time, I mentioned being a dinosaur in recent fan zones, but I'm not used to. Back in the day watching football, maybe it's because I was young and I was just, riding the wave. It wasn't, I wasn't at the start of the season thinking we've got to take it easy now because at the end of the season, we've got that battle with Man United and, we've got to lead up to that second half of the season because then I wasn't thinking about that, and nor were Arsenal, nor were the players, Henry, Vieira, Adams, and so on. They were just thinking about winning every single game. They didn't win every single game, but it was there. So I come from that era. But this modern day football, it's all fine tuning, the attention to
very
detail,
structured.
due diligence.
Yeah.
It might be the case, and I might turn around here in March, April, May, and say, "Fucking hell, Arteta's done it again." Like I didn't see this coming.
I come from that era too, where it's like you just go out there and you hustle all 90 minutes,
Yeah.
and you just want them to be hungry. And that's like one of the things I see in a player like Havertz. Like I don't see that kind of hunger that you want. Tonight, I felt like he showed it a little bit more off the ball as opposed to on the ball. Like he wasn't, obviously his final decision making was horrible, but he was getting himself in positions, off the ball when we had possession. And then even when we didn't have possession, you could see him putting himself about a little bit and trying to get himself into a position where, it makes it harder for them to set up passing lanes. But yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of what happened tonight too is also reflective of what we saw at the latter part of last season when, teams really kind of did that low block and, kind of just sat in and didn't really try attacking us. It wasn't the open kind of game that we were used to at the beginning of last season when we were taking it to teams a lot more in the beginning. It was more like after that Everton game away where we had lost and teams kind of found the formula to kind of play that low block. I almost feel like that was their tactic tonight was trying to play that low block, and just keep us out best we could because they were playing us at home, so.
Yeah, they didn't show much ambition. Myself
Yeah.
and Turkish described them as quite passive. But you know what? We got the win, fully deserved. And as Turkish said, we didn't really get out of second gear. So I think that bodes well for the weekend. But listen, bro, thank you very much for your call.
What's
Yeah,
your
no worries,
name?
guys. Class. It's classic. You can call me classic.
Class,
I've been listening to you guys for about 6 years now, just a heads
wow.
up. So
Class,
appreciate you.
class.
Yeah,
Last 2
appreciate
years,
you
I've been
too.
listening to you every day. So
Oh, nice,
appreciate
man.
you guys. Appreciate Forever Arsenal. Give a shout out to everyone. I've been on here a couple times, but just give everyone a shout out for me, would
Yeah,
you?
we'll do,
Love
man.
my
We'll
bro,
do,
man.
yeah.
Appreciate
All right,
the
boys.
support, man.
I'll
Take
check
care
you
of
soon.
yourself.
Thank you
Nice
very
one.
much.
All right, you
Appreciate
too.
it.